correct? So considering everyone's system has the MySQL setup on their machine, today we'll be starting working on the JDBC implementation. All right. So what is JDBC?
Yeah. Java database connectivity.
Yes. So JDBC is Java Database Connectivity. What does that mean? So it is an
Means
API,
connecting Java to database.
right? So Java database connectivity means you are trying to connect both Java and database together. So in order to establish the communication between the Java and the database, we use an API called JDBC. And Java provides us the JDBC API so that we can use all the database related operations in your Java programming language. All right. So
Yeah.
why do you use JDBC?
To make a connection between Java and MySQL database.
Yeah, it's not only MySQL. It can be any database. We have
Okay.
MySQL as a free database, so we are using it. So it doesn't mean that it is only restricted to MySQL. It can be
Oh.
any database.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
So that is JDBC. Now, so we are saying JDBC. There are few steps that you need to ensure or that you need to specify when you are doing JDBC. So what are those steps? So first thing, you need to load the driver. What does that mean? Loading the driver. See, you are saying that you are using Java programming language to connect to a database, correct? So in order to establish the communication between both of them, there should be a common medium. There should be a bridge to connect between both Java and database, correct?
Yeah.
Right? And that bridge is called the driver. So now the first step in JDBC is to load the driver. And what is the driver? Driver acts as a bridge between the Java language and the database. Okay? Now we will see a pictorial representation of it. So now we have Java programming language. Alright? And we have database. Java DB. So to establish communication between both together, Java to DB and database to Java, we need some kind of a medium, and that medium is the driver. So driver acts as an intermediate bridge between the Java language and the database. Is it clear,
Okay.
everyone? Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's about.
Venkat, driver is also a program, one kind of.
No, it is not a program. It is a bridge. I mean, it is a kind of an external jar, which I will be explaining you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are saying driver,
Yeah.
right? And the drivers are different for different databases. See, we are using MySQL at present, so we will be using MySQL related driver. If we are using Oracle, we will be using Oracle driver. If we are using some other database, we will be using that database driver, right? So the first step in the JDBC is to load the driver. All right. Then what is the second step?
Yeah.
After you see, now you have established the bridge between Java and database. That is the first step. After establishing the bridge, what is the second step? You need to get the connection. You need to get the database connection. in the Java language, in the Java program. Yeah, I think there is some noise coming from someone's end. Yeah. Okay, I think Monica, it is you. I'm muting you. Okay, I have muted Monica. So, uh, yeah. What is the second step? The second step is to get the database connection in the Java program, right? Then, what is the third thing? Create the statement. Create the statement and execute the queries. It's simple. See, what we did yesterday in the MySQL workbench, we tried to establish the connection, right? By double clicking on the local host, we connected to the local host database, right? So we established the connection. Next, what we did, we executed few statements like insert statements or select statements, correct? Likewise, in the JDBC implementation, we have three steps. The first step is to load the driver. Second step is to get the database connection. Third step is to create the statements and execute the queries. All right. Now, in this creating the statement, Java support three types of statements. What are they? Statement interface, repair statement, callable statement. We will get in detail. What is what? We will get in detail. Okay. So these are the three steps that we need to follow to write a JDBC program or to establish a JDBC connectivity. All right. Now we are saying first step as load driver. Okay. Then how we will load the driver? Theoretically, you are saying load the driver, but programmatically, how you can load the driver? So there is a syntax to load the driver. That is class dot for name of the driver name. Say for example, if you are using MySQL, so class dot for name. So what this will do, class dot for name, this is a statement in Java that will load the type of driver you are specifying here. Here in this, which driver we are specifying? We are specifying MySQL driver. Alright. Now, second thing, that is loading the driver. Second thing, then how you will get the connection? How can you get the connection is connection object is equal to Java provides us an interface called driver manager. So we'll do driver manager dot get connection. All right. In this, we'll specify host details, database details, DB details, comma username, comma password. See, you need to establish a connection from the Java language. You need to know where the DB is located first of all, correct? And
Yeah.
what is the username of the DB and what is the password of the DB, right? So to get a database connection, the step is to get the connection. How can you get the connection? Connection is equal to driver manager dot get connection of DB details, username, password. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Now coming back to our statement. What is a statement? Statement is nothing but a simple SQL statement wherein you can run any of your SQL commands, whether it can be your inserting some data into the database or fetching some data from the database or updating some data into the database. It can be anything. any kind of a database operation. So statements helps us to do any kind of SQL operation. Helps us to perform any kind of SQL operations. Whether it can be insert, update, delete, or select. Anything.
Create.
Yeah, it can be anything. Now, create is a DML. I mean, create is a DDL. You are defining. You will be creating a table. Then only you will be invoking the JDBC, right? First,
Yeah.
you will be creating the table structure. So, create will come under DDL. And these SQL operations are DML, data manipulation. So, you can manipulate the data, right? DDL is
Yeah.
you will create the table or alter the table, those things.
Okay. Yeah.
So now that is statement interface. What is statement interface? Statement interface is an interface which helps us to perform any kind of SQL operations. Now that is statement. Then what is prepare statement? Even prepare statement is also a statement interface which performs all these, but it is a pre-compiled statement. It is a form of statement only. It is a form of statement only, but it is a pre-compiled statement. So the performance is better than statement, right? So how we'll use prepare statement, how we'll use statement, we will learn in some time. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the final kind of statement interface. What is that? Callable. So do you guys have any idea about callable?
It's calling the statement.
No. So have you guys ever heard anything about store procedure? Stored
No.
procedure? Stored procedures. See, this is related to the database. Generally, SQL developers or the DB developers will work on the stored procedures. So they will be writing the stored procedures. Now, through Java, if you want to call any of the stored procedures, then you'll be using callable statement. So callable statement helps us in calling stored procedures from the database. How about these above two statements? These above two statements are used to perform simple query operations like select, insert, delete, update, those things. But whereas callable statements, if you want to call or execute a stored procedure from Java program, then you'll be using callable statement. Make sense?
Yeah.
Everyone, is there any doubt till now? Anyone has any doubts till now?
When that statement means
Statement means?
it is a Java statement, right?
Yeah, it's a Java statement, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, see, when we are discussing about collections, what is the package that we used? Java.util, correct? So now we are doing JDBC, which is SQL related. So the package we'll be using is java.sql. So all the classes or the interfaces that we'll be using will be from the Java SQL package.
Okay.
Okay. So this is about the theoretical concept of
Yeah.
JDBC. Okay. So now what is JDBC again?
Java database connectivity
Okay.
means to make a connection between Java and the database.
Okay. So what are the steps? What are the steps that involve in enabling the JDBC in a Java program?
First, load the driver.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll give chance to others as well. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Someone is telling, right? Okay. Continue.
Yeah, load the driver.
Okay.
It is done by class dot for name statement, right?
Yes. So load the driver. Why you need to load the driver? Because driver is the one which acts as a bridge between the Java language and the database. So if you are using different kinds of databases like MySQL, Oracle, or something, Java needs to understand that, right? Okay, I'm using MySQL. I'm using this driver to connect to MySQL database, or I'm using this driver to enable connection to Oracle database, right? Java needs to understand certain rules. So that is the reason the driver acts as a bridge between Java and DB. Second step. Second step.
And get the connection to the database, right?
Yes. Second step is to get the connection from the database or get the connection to the database. Open the connection to the database. How can you do that? By
Okay.
using driver manager interface.
Yeah. By get connection method, and you must give database details, username and password.
Yes. And what is the final thing? Statement. So what is a statement?
It is statement to perform any MySQL operations, SQL operations.
Yeah, it's not MySQL. Don't restrict to MySQL. It can be anything. MySQL is one of the database that we have.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
There are n number of databases that we have in the market. So statement interface is used to perform SQL operations, and that SQL operations can be anything, whether it can be MySQL or Oracle or DB2 or uh, many other databases.
Okay.
Sybase, all right? Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway.
yeah. So in the statements, we have three different types of statements. What are the statement, prepare statement,
Statement.
and callable statement?
Yeah.
Prepare statement is also similar to normal statement interface, but it is a pre-compiled statement. So what does that mean? If you are executing the same statement again and again, as it is already pre-compiled, it will give us better performance than the regular statement.
Yeah.
All right, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone?
Yes, Venkat.
Yeah. So then we have the final thing called,
Yeah.
we have,
Callable statement.
yeah, callable statement. So callable statement is for calling the stored procedures from the database. So if you want to call any stored procedures from the DB, then you can use callable statement in the Java programming language. So this whole comprises of JDBC. So now what we will do? We will do a simple example to insert the data into the database and to fetch the data from the database. All right. I think this is a different workspace. Okay. And also yesterday I've sent an email to everyone for the programs and the practicals. So did everyone receive that email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So try to do those examples and exercises, all right? And make use of the examples that we have already done. I have been sending the projects every day, right? So you can just if you are having any kind of questions or doubts, you can just go through the doc. I mean, this project I'm zipping and sending it every 3-4 days, correct? So you can just import this project and you can just see how it's happening. See how, yeah. coming back to our JDBC example. So we'll be running a new package. Am I audible? Am I clear? No?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, clear.
Yeah. It's a simple package, JDBC. Now what we will do, we will create a class called first JDBC example, and this requires a main method. I think someone is talking in the background. Who is that? I have to mute them. Yeah. Okay. So now what we are doing? We are doing a simple JDBC program. So what is the first step?
Create object.
No. What is the first step?
Load the driver.
Load the driver. So how can you load the driver? By using class
Last
called
of name
driver name,
method.
and you'll give the driver name. So what will be the driver name? We are using MySQL, right? So you need not worry about it. So you can just go to Google. One second. Yeah, you can just go to Google and search for MySQL JDBC driver, right? And if you go to any link, actually this is not the one, driver class name. Yeah, see here. Network is very slow. Okay, see, this is the driver name. So you need not remember. If you remember, it's well and good. Even though if you are not remembering, that's fine. Just go to Google and find it out, because you'll be working with n number of databases. It is not mandatory to remember each and every driver, right? See, it will be com MySQL JDBC driver. What if it is Oracle? If it is Oracle, it will be a different driver. Just go to Google and find Oracle JDBC driver name. It will be, see, if you see here, is my screen fast? Are you able to see my screen quickly, or is there any lag?
Uh, there is a lot of lag. It's very slow.
Is it for everyone? I want answer. Is it
You're
for...
selecting.
Yes, almost.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, please respond so that I will get to know, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's somewhat slow.
Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm just selecting. So what is it I'm doing? Can you guys tell me?
Created the text part.
What is it?
You had will exactly do while connecting.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, they are up to date. Okay. Now, if it is Oracle driver, then you'll be loading this type of class, this class, oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. Correct? So you need not remember everything. If you know how to use it and what to use it, when to use it, then you're good. Just go to Google and find it out. What is the class name for Oracle database driver? Just go and find it out, copy it and paste it here. Make sense? And what if it is MySQL?
Yes. Yeah.
The different. So if it is MySQL, then it is
Com.
this one, right? And why it is throwing error? It is throwing some exception. What is that we have to do?
Unhandled.
We should import java.sql, right?
So it's an exception.
No,
Class not found.
Class not found.
this is class not found. So you need to use try catch block. Alright. And within this, what is our next step?
Get the company.
Yeah. So I'll be creating a connection. So here, if you see the connection, this will get from the SQL, Java SQL package. So now what is the second step? You need to get the connection. Connection is equal to, how to get the connection?
Connection.
Driver manager get connection.
Connection object.
Connection.
Yeah. See, I have already created connection object outside. So I am accessing here.
Okay.
Why I have created outside is because whenever you are opening a connection, you need to close the connections in the finally block, right? So if you declare the connection object outside,
Yeah.
it will be visible for the finally block. So that is the reason I have created that outside of the try block. Okay. And once that is done, you need to provide your database details and username and password. What are the database details? This is the database detail. Okay. In the first string, you will be specifying JDBC. What type of protocol you're using, what type of programming you're doing, JDBC. So you'll specify JDBC, column, what type of database you're using? It is MySQL. So you'll specify JDBC column, MySQL. And where it is located, it's on my system, it's on localhost. So I'll give localhost. And what is the port number of it? MySQL runs on port 3306. And what is the default schema I have? Test schema. So I gave test schema. Is it clear? This is the complete database detail. Alright. Now, second parameter is username. Root is the username and password is also root for my case. Yeah. I'm getting some talks from someone. Can you please mute? I'm not able to concentrate. Okay. So the first parameter is the database details. Second parameter is the username. Third parameter is the password. Alright. Again, this statement is giving us.
Venkat,
Yeah. Yes.
usually we'll not have database. So can we use normal user ID, normal user and password?
What is it? Can you come again?
Yeah, usually only DBS will have root access, right, for database.
No. It's not root. It can be anything. It can be anything. For me, it is installed on my machine. So I have created my username and password as root. So if it is installed on your machine, you know your username and password. If it is on different machine, they will be providing you the required user roles, the username and password.
Yeah.
Without knowing the username and password, you cannot connect any database, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely you have to know the username and password for a particular database. Then only you can connect to it.
Yeah.
Alright? Yeah. And the second thing is it is giving us one more exception. The driver manager is giving another exception. So we need to handle that too. What is the other thing? It is SQL exception. So we need to handle SQL exception as well. So we did the first step, and we did the second step. And what is the third step?
Create the statement.
Create the statement. And statement is also of type Java SQL. So how to create a statement? Is equal to connection dot create statement. So you create a statement object from connection. Connection dot create statement will give you the statement object. Alright. So now we will write a query. String SQL is equal to, you will insert some data. Do we have any tables? Let me see if I have any tables in the database. Okay. So I have a test table. So within this test table, I will create a new table for Pioneer student. I am creating a new table called Pioneer student. Okay, here I'll be creating 3 columns or 2 columns. Zip. Okay. So a new table called Pioneer student is created. So now if I select, the no data is there, right? So now what we will do, we will write a query to insert something into the table. So insert into Pioneer student values 1 comma name Sam comma city Atlanta comma zip. Okay, so we have written a query, and what is that query? It's an insert query. It is inserting values into Pioneer student object, student table. Correct? Right? So now after this, what you have to do? You have to do statement dot execute. You need to execute that query, right? You're just declaring the query, but you need to execute the query. How can you execute the query? Using a statement. Statement dot execute of that SQL. This will insert the value into that particular table. Clear? Is that clear? Everyone? Yes or no? Huh?
Venkat, query means some SQL operation.
Query is SQL operation, yes. I think you guys need to learn about SQL.
Oh,
Yeah. So what you guys can just do, go to W3 schools or something, basic SQL material or basic SQL tutorial. Yeah, just go to W3 schools and learn what SQL is. Okay? Because we cannot cover database concepts also.
okay.
Database is a different thing. This will not come under Java JDBC. Okay, so I'll be messaging you this URL, everyone. So have you guys never did any kind of DBMS in your engineering? In engineering, definitely there will be a subject called DBMS, right? In your MS also
Yeah,
there
we
will be
did.
something for
I'm,
DBMS, RDBMS,
yeah,
or
I'm from
Yes,
what is it?
yes.
yeah, I'm from electrical.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So what you can do, you can just go through this simple tutorial because it is related to database. So we will not be covering in our Java sessions. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basic things I can tell you. So to insert, this is the syntax. To retrieve, we will use select. To
Mm.
update, we will use update.
Update.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we are doing, we are inserting the values and we are setting the values, and we are done with that. Execute. Then if the program is done, what is it we have to do? In the finally thing, we have to close the statement,
Okay.
statement dot close, and connection dot close. And again, these will throw exceptions. So try catch. Another thing, see, when we are working on files, if the file is not opened, but even though we are closing, it used to throw us null pointer exception. So to avoid that null pointer, if statement not equal to null only, close it. Again, connection not equal to null only, then close it. Make sense? I'm not doing anything special. In the finally block, I'm just closing the statement and closing the connection. But why I'm checking the null check? Because there are chances that it can be null. So if it is not null only, we are closing it. Because if it is null and if we are closing it, it will return null pointer exception for us. Make sense?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, please answer
Yes.
yes or no. Based on that, I will understand whether you guys got it or not got it, or I have to explain it again. So based on that only I can think of it, right? So please respond whether you understand or no. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we close the statement and we close connections. So this is within the finally block. So we are done with our whole thing. Correct? So now we'll execute the program. Okay. So if I execute the program, run as simple Java application. See what is that error it is throwing?
Class.
Class not
Class not
found.
found.
This is
Is
MySQL.
not found.
Yeah. So this is a class that will be present in a particular jar. So we have not added the jar, right? We said that jar will act as a bridge between Java language. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm muting that person. I'm not sure who is that. Yeah. Okay. So it is expecting, I have explained you that there is a jar that acts as a bridge between Java language and database, correct? So which is this driver, but this class is present in a different jar. So you need to include that jar to make our program work. right? And what is that jar? It is MySQL connector. So we will just go to Google and find out, download MySQL connector jar. So just go to third link, or I mean whatever the link you have. Okay, scroll down and download it. So what is our class? What is our class we are looking for? com.mysql.jdbc.driver, correct? See, this class is present in this jar. See, these are the list of files that are contained in MySQL bin. In this, out of this list, we are having our required class also. So we need to load this jar, then only our program will work. So we have downloaded this. So I'll be extracting this. So after extracting, see, I got this MySQL connector jar. Okay, so what is it I have to do? I have to add this jar to my project. So go to your project, right click, please follow carefully. Just go to your project, right click, properties, Java build path, libraries. In this library, you need to add an external jar. And where is that external jar? In my downloads folder. So just open it. Okay. So now that MySQL jar is added. So and this jar will have our class. What is that class? Driver class. See, com.mysql.jdbc.driver. That is what we are using, right? So we are able to see that class. So then our program recognizes, oh, okay, I'm able to identify the jar in our project, so we can execute it. Do you guys follow that or no?
No.
Good.
Okay. So simple thing. We are saying that we are loading a driver, right? We are loading a class, and this class is present in a third party library. Why it is third party library? Because you are trying to interact with MySQL database. So to understand the Java with MySQL, there should be a common connector. There should be a connector file between Java and DB, right? And that common connector will have this class. You are loading this class, but it is not able to identify that common connector. So how can you load that common connector? Just you need to download that connector file and add that connector to your project. How to add that connector to your project? Just go to your project, right click, properties, build path, libraries, add external jars, and wherever it is located, just double click on it so it will be added. Is it clear now?
Okay.
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes, Venkat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now when we try to run this program, we ran the program and there are no exceptions or no issues. See, did we see any issues or exceptions in the log? Nothing, right? So
No.
we will just go and see in the console. We will just go and see in the table whether it is inserted or not. So right click, select rows. See, it inserted, right?
Hmm.
The data is inserted, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're not manually inserting the data from SQL. You're using a Java program to insert the data from the Java program. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So now this can be anything. You can insert any number of data.
Okay.
So now again, if I run this program and go to database table and refresh it, it will add second record also, right? So you are using JDBC API to connect to the database and insert some data. Make sense? Everyone?
Yes.
Yes. So now this is to insert. Then we need to get the values that are already there in the database. How can we get the value? So this is our first JDBC example to insert. Now we will write
Select.
another program.
Select.
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 Select JDBC example. Okay. And in this we will try to use the same logic. Same. This is common, right? So we will try to copy the same logic. Right? But what is the thing that you have to change?
Instead of insert, we can use select.
Select.
SQL statement.
SQL statement. So you need to change this completely. And what is that? It should be select ID, comma, name, comma,
From
comma, zip from
name, city,
pioneer underscore
pioneer student.
Test.
student. Test we already gave here, right? Test.
Yeah, it's
ID.
city.
Good.
So it is select ID from student. Yeah. So now and see, if it is
Yeah,
insert, yeah. What is it?
Insert.
Yeah.
it's city, right? CIY.
Yeah, right. So if it is insert, you'll be using execute. So for insert or update, you'll be using you'll be using execute. For update, you'll be using execute update. But this is for select, right? You'll be using execute query. You need to execute a query. Statement dot execute query.
Queries.
So why is this? Because this execute query will give us something called result set. So why is it called? There is some noise coming from someone's end. Please. Okay. So we have result set. So we have statement dot execute query. So statement dot execute query, what it will do? It will return us result set. See, previously in the previous case, you are not expecting anything in return from the database. Correct? You are just inserting or updating. You are not expecting whether it is inserted or not. So you are not returning anything. But now you're selecting something. That means you're expecting something from the database. So you'll be doing statement.execute query and that will return as result set. So what you can do with the result set? You will iterate that result set. You will iterate that result set and print the values. system.out.println id or student values are. What are the values? First name is, sorry, what is the first column? ID. So how can you get that? You can get that as rs dot get int. First column is integer column, right? ID is integer. We have created integer in the database, correct? So rs dot get int of 1. What does that 1 indicates? It is the first thing that you are getting. First parameter. Select ID, comma. You are doing 4 things, right? Select ID, name, city, zip. So out of that, ID is the first one. So you will get rs dot get int of first. So first location you are getting. Next, you will give some space and do rs dot get string. Rest everything are strings, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So what we are doing here, we are writing a query, select ID, name, city, zip from binary student, and we are executing that query. And that query will return as result set. So by using that result set, we can print the values. So we are iterating that result set and getting,
Yeah. And
yeah, yeah, and you're getting all the required things.
okay. And in the while loop, like where you're iterating,
Uh-huh.
it should be rs dot has next or as just next.
It is next. Result set has method only next, not has next. It is not iterator. Iterator has next, but result set has just next.
Okay.
Okay. So now, if I execute this
Okay.
program,
Venkat,
yeah,
what kind of class is result set? I mean, does it have any connection framework? If yes, then what type?
see, if you just double click on it, yeah, you can see the thing. So a table of data representing a database result set, which is usually generated by executing a statement. So what does a result set maintain? The result set maintains the rows, the data within rows. So you will, if you do next, first it will read first row. If you do next it will read next row. So if you see the output, first it read the complete row. Next it went to second row. So result set will contain the data in the rows format.
Okay.
Okay. So this is not a typical collection. This is not a Java util collection.
Okay.
This is Java SQL result set. How can you hold the data? See, if it is collection, you will hold objects. But database data, how can you hold in Java? By using result set. Clear?
Okay.
So now if you execute this program, you will get the output. Whatever the records that are present in your system, you will get all the records. Make sense? Everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is about
Yep.
JDBC.
So
Yeah.
so in case what if we don't know the like data types, like what are there in that table and all, then how can we
So without knowing your data
retrieve
type,
them?
no. Without knowing your data model, you cannot even write your query. If you are getting something, you need to know what you are getting it.
Okay.
Right? So definitely you need to know. See, if you are inserting or if you are performing any database operations, you need to know, right, what type of a column it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So without knowing, you cannot do anything. So you need to know for sure.
Yeah, but in database we need not to know everything, right? We just write the statement like select star from the table.
Yeah,
So from that it can retrieve all the data which the table have, right? But here we need to know the every.
Data type of that column. Like here we have created that table so we know what data type it is.
right. So
So
if you don't create your table, you can just go to that SQL browser and check the table structure. Right click and you can just check edit table or alter table. So the alter table will give you what type of data types are there. You have the data table, you can see the data type. Correct?
okay, so so in real time, if you are going to like make these operations,
Uh-huh.
then they'll be giving us even the database as well.
Yeah, definitely. So
Okay.
if you are working on any JDBC things, definitely they will provide you what is the table, how it looks like. So even if they don't provide you, you have the connection parameters with you. You can just connect to the database and you can check what is the table data type, what is it you have to get it.
Okay.
Mhm. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is about statement. So everyone is that fine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what is the second statement we have? Prepare statement. So again we will take the same logic, right? But here instead of creating normal statement, we will create prepare statement. Okay? And the statement is of type connection dot prepare statement. I have given a wrong. Yeah. Okay. Connection dot prepare statement. So now you need to understand prepare statement is a pre-compile statement. So you will be writing the query only, but the values will be setting dynamically. How can you set the values? By runtime. So you'll be passing question marks here.
No.
Okay? Here you do statement dot. You are passing question marks, but how can you set the values? By using this statement dot setting. Statement dot set string. So what is the first parameter? First parameter is 1. First question mark is 1. And what is the type of that? Integer. So you'll be doing 3.
Yeah.
Huh? We already have 2 records, right? So I'm creating a third record 3. And parameter. right? Then you will do statement dot execute. Okay. So what is that you are doing here? So instead of hard coding the values, you are dynamically parsing the query by sending a question marks, right? Question mark, question mark. So here you are saying question marks, right? So how can you pass the value for first question mark? You are saying 1. So set int of first question mark, set string of second question mark, set string of third question mark, next fourth question mark. And why you are doing set int? Because you know first one is id, that is integer. So that is the reason you are doing int. And this is the third value. You already have id as 1 and 2. So you are inserting 3. Clear? Clear or no?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes, Nitin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Venkat,
Yeah.
means why are you using separate set string or set int again?
Yeah. So this is
You
a
can directly give, right?
yeah. If you directly give, then it is a normal statement, right? It will become a normal statement. If you directly give, it will be a normal statement. Then what is the specialty of using prepare statement? So here what it does is, for the first time it executes this compiles this statement. So next time onwards, this statement will already be there in the query cache. All you have to do is to just set the parameters. Whereas in the first case, this will compile this query each and every time. Like if you are doing 100 times, it does 100 times compilation and then execute. But whereas this one, it compiles only once and runs many times.
Oh, okay.
Got it?
Like many times means how?
I mean, like if you are using a looping statement, see here, we are doing only once, right? We can insert only one time. But in the real scenarios, you will be selecting multiple records and inserting, correct? By using for loop or while loop.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a precompiled statement.
Okay, so we'll place that in loop statements and it will be
Inserting.
doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense, everyone? So, but we haven't executed this yet. So, if I execute this, say I haven't got any error. But now if I go and see the data, see the third record is inserted. 3 Do San Antonio 12312. See, I'm setting here 3 Do San Antonio 12312. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is
Yes.
prepare statement. So what is the advantage of using prepare statement? It is a pre-compiled statement. So it compiles once and executes many times. Whereas normal statement, every time you run the program, it compiles. Every time you run, it compiles and it executes. Whereas prepare statement, it compiles only once and it stores in the database memory. Next time onwards, it picks from the cache and it sets only the parameters. So it is fast and performant. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that is prepare statement. And now, what is the final thing we have? Callable statement.
Mm.
Callable statement, we cannot do any example because we don't have any stored procedures. But I will show you just a syntax how to call it. Okay? Because I don't have any stored procedures on my machine and I don't know how to write a stored procedure, so I cannot show that. It is a database guy duty to write a stored procedure.
When the store procedure means?
Stored procedure means, see, if you are writing SQLs, it is simple SQLs, right? If it is a stored procedure, if you want to execute group of queries in a single stretch, like 100 times. If you want to execute a single query, then you can specify that in a stored procedure. So group of statements execution is in stored procedure.
Okay, it's like package, right? Predefined.
No, it's not predefined. You need to write it. The database guys will write it for you.
Oh,
Venkat,
okay.
Yeah,
in real time, which one do you use? Stored procedure or prepared statement?
it depends. It depends on the requirements. If you already have stored procedures, then you'll use callable statement. If you have just simple queries, then you'll use, again, if you have to write simple queries and normal things, then you'll use prepare statement or statement. But if you have to call callable statements in using stored procedures, then you have to use callable statement.
Okay.
Okay, it depends on the requirement. You'll be using both, or you'll be using only one based on the project. So it is not restricted that you have to only use this. It all depends on the requirements.
Okay.
Okay, so just I'll show you how to create a callable statement, and then because we cannot execute, I don't have any stored procedures on my system, so we'll try to use the same logic. Now instead of normal statement, we'll be using callable statement.
Call.
Instead of con dot create statement, we'll use con dot prepare call, and in this prepare call we'll specify call my stored procedure, select students procedure, something like that. If you have any procedure name like this, you'll select that, and you'll do statement dot execute batch. So you'll execute that batch so that you'll get the objects. Okay. So you'll, instead of using prepare statement, con dot prepare statement or con dot create statement, you'll be using con dot prepare call to call a stored procedure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, Venkat.
Yeah. Everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is about JDBC. So we are done with our JDBC programming. All right. So is it is easy, right? It's very easy, correct?
No.
Oh, it's not easy.
Um,
How about others? Is it tough?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's not that tough.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. So again, you based on your practice only you'll get it. So okay. All right. So anyone has any questions or clarifications on JDBC programming?
No.
Okay. That is all.
No.
Okay. Cool. So that is about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, you guys can practice multiple things. So try to insert, delete. So I have explained you only delete. Sorry, insert. You guys can try delete. You guys can try delete, update, many things. And before doing that, you guys need to know what is SQL tutorial. So I have pinged you in the group chat. So you guys just try to learn about SQL and do simple things. Just basic SQL is fine. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. We'll meet again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We'll not be having a class. Okay. So Wednesday we'll be starting. So let's.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay.
We'll again
Yeah.
on Wednesday.
Yeah. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.